Recording?
Yeah, it is now.
We back. Cultured in the Noughties again.
Yeah.
I'm back.
It's AP Jet Ski.
AP Jet Ski.
AP Jet Ski.
I'm JC, so I'm not really changing it up because, I don't really want
I
to
tried
change
that
it up.
out, didn't work.
It's alright, AP Ski, or whatever you say. But, it's just, another episode of Cultured Talks. Episode 2, to be exact. And today's episode is about, say race.
Damn. It's about being us. Niggas.
Race. Oh, you can't say that.
Oh shit, sorry, we can bleep that out.
About race, but specifically our experiences as being young black men, and how we live and what we see, what we've been seeing on social media, and yeah. So let's say June just started recently. So I say within like the last month, just about 8 weeks maybe as well. The stuff is happening in America. People are getting killed. People getting attacked, the riots. No, well, not riots, but protests, and they call it riots.
Propaganda.
Exactly. And they're saying people are looting stuff, as well, which is, that's not how things started. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into it like that. But being a young black man, in this country. Not even this country, but generally, it's tough,
You just feel like you just don't belong here. It's not, well, I wouldn't say you not belong, but I think you feel out of place. You most of the time you feel the grass would be greener somewhere else.
Yeah.
You feel like for every time you get opportunity, they kind of feel disgruntled about it. They feel they need you for their own ego to look better, to convince themselves they're not these type of bad people that you want to see, but.
Yeah,
I feel it's just built like the systems are just built in a way to make it inevitable for them to actually be those type of people. It's just built in a way where their ignorance is bliss, where the mindset they're in is the mindset that is appropriate, even though it isn't. It's not appropriate to use stereotypes to, say. You're to be convinced that black men are always gonna be the type to rob you, steal from you, and I just don't think we were respected enough in history or in this country.
100%. Because imagine like me sometimes, like I'll be going on a train to go somewhere. Let's say I'm going let's say I'm going to uni, right, and I'm on the tube, and let's say someone will come and see I'm on the train in the same carriage. They'll look at me, it's empty on my side, and they'll look at another side of the carriage that's just full, and they'll be like, nah, let me go sit where it's full, because like, oh, he's scary, or he's intimidating. I'm just chilling on my phone, listening to music, or I'm looking at memes most of the time. I don't really care, but at the same time, like, I don't know how to feel in these situations. Like, I haven't done anything wrong.
And it's little microaggressions like that. Like, I remember, it's so funny because I thought this is like the first time where I've noticed where it's actually been institutionalized. I was in school, and this is our main teacher. We all respected him. His name was Mr. Mason. If he sees this video, this is nothing against you. Well, I guess it has to be something against you now, because I'm going to have to expose something that we were blind to. A whole classroom full of, well, it was a class of 30, but out of 30, I would say most of us were black, so I'd say 25 out of 30 20 out of 30 were the class was black. The class was black kids. And I remember being in the class, and he was talking to us about NWA and the bad rap that policemen get. And I remember him talking about stop and search, and when he had to stop it because of racial profiling. But he said to himself, "Hey, if I see somebody in a hoodie, they're probably up to something, And I'm thinking to myself, like, I get you. I might see that, because at that time I've never been stopped and searched. Even up to this day, I've never been stopped and searched, which is funny to me because I don't really get that. I feel I'm still a bit novice to the side where police in our country could be a bit excessive or, you know, profile us.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, going back to the conversation I'm having about, you know, my teacher teaching us and him having his own biased views on the situation, I don't think he noticed at that time that teaching a group of black kids that it's appropriate to be profiled based on the fact they have your hoodie up or that you're wearing a jacket in 30-degree weather. I don't know. Maybe you have anemia and you have to keep warm during this time. Who knows? I mean, it's not always the thing where you have to assume that this person's selling drugs or this person has anything on him. And I felt that's just a bad thing to teach to a group of black kids that, you know, you are going to be profiled, you know, and it's like, and it's appropriate for you to be profiled. And I thought, and I always went back to it and I think to myself, yeah, that wasn't the move. That wasn't right. Like, how are you telling a group of black kids that it's safe to assume that if you're in a hoodie if you have your hoodie up, no matter what time of the year, hot, cold, blah 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 blah, it's always safe to assume that, you know, this person is wearing is a gang member or something, especially in an area where it's predominantly black and that person might be black. You know, it's just a coincidence. No, come on, mate. This country's still majority white. I'm not here for that, and I wasn't here, and I'm not here to hear that. And it's just to this day, I like every time I saw it, and I was thinking they literally conditioned us into thinking that was okay, into thinking it's alright to be profiled, and he taught us, and a teacher taught us that in school. This guy fully said the N word when he literally fully said the N word to all of, like, I'm not even like, he literally said he was literally talking to us about NWA and their outward talk about, you know, their obstruction and about their about police brutality, and he literally turned it into this thing where this group called Niggas with Attitude were being a bad presence because they were against police and what they were doing. And I thought, as I was growing up, I look back on those time all the time, and I think this man didn't really know that much when it came to the black side. He knew his white side. He knew the white side and the privilege, and he didn't seem to acknowledge the privilege he had as a white man to not get the same treatment. Because he even told us a story where a group of his black friends got searched, but he was left out. And it's funny how he didn't seem to acknowledge that. Yeah, he didn't seem to acknowledge that he was in a place where he was okay, and they weren't. And it just made no sense. And it made no sense to me.